Hi, I'm Brittany Crawford, a career educator in the Office of Student Engagement and Career Development. Today we'll be focusing on tailoring your cover letter. A cover letter is a commonly requested application material, usually submitted in addition to your resume. It is a personal introduction to the employer, detailing what you're applying for, why, and how you're a good fit for the position. Let's take a second to compare how a resume differs from a cover letter. In a resume, you write about your experience using brief, bulleted statements, outlining relevant professional experience. The information is primarily objective-based: who you are, what you do, where you've done it, when, and for how long. Your cover letter is a 3 to 4 paragraph written letter using the first person, so being able to say I or my, and it expands on the roles or skills listed in the job description with more detail and context. Cover letters are focused on subjective information. You're answering questions like why you, why this specific position, why this employer, and why now. For both documents, you'll want to make sure they're tailored to a specific position with reference to specific words and phrases from the job description, and that the final project is edited and polished. The purpose of the letter is to show the employer why you're a good fit, using detailed examples of how you've applied your skills in the context of other experiences and make the connection of how you'll be able to contribute to their organization. It also gives the employer insight into your personality or personal brand, while also gauging your written communication skills. Let's break down the basic anatomy of a cover letter. Every cover letter will be unique to the applicant and tailored to the job description, but most include the same basic elements. At the top is your contact information. Below that is the date, followed by the employer's address. Next is the salutation, or formal greeting, of the contact person for the position. Your letter starts with an opening paragraph that generally includes who you are, what position you're applying for, and why. The body of the letter is made up of 1 to 2 paragraphs that expand on your background and experiences. Then the closing paragraph summarizes and re-emphasizes why you'd be a good fit. Now, students often ask if employers actually read cover letters, and typically, if an employer asks you for something, they're going to look at it. The extent to which they'll look at it and in what order depends on the industry and the employer's personal preference. For example, some employers may scan a resume to see if you meet the minimum job requirements, then will move on to read the cover letter to learn more about you. Employers for some federal positions, for example, may read the cover letter first to see if you address all the minimum requirements, then they move on to the resume to learn more about your background. One of the biggest mistakes we see from job seekers is submitting generic cover letters that are not tailored to the positions they're applying for. Employers can usually tell just by reading the first paragraph if a candidate put in the effort to tailor their letter, and in competitive searches, it's just another factor they use to narrow their search. They note if you took the time to find a contact person, or if you use the specific job title or the organization name. This shows much more than just etiquette. It communicates an attention to detail, and that you've done your homework on the position and organization. It shows that you care about getting this specific job, or that you have a more genuine interest in the position. Your cover letter might be the difference between being extended and offered to interview or not making it past the initial screening, so it's worth the time and effort to tailor. Let's look at an example to see where and how you should tailor your letter. At the top of your one-page letter, you'll include your contact information in the same formatting as presented on your resume. This adds a consistency to your application materials and makes it easier for the employer to keep a unified picture of your application. Next, you'll include the date and then the contact information for the employer. Be sure to list the correct physical address and include a contact person if possible. Below that is the salutation, or formal greeting of the employer. Be sure to address the letter to the contact person listed in the job posting. If there is no contact person listed, you can contact the Human Resources Department to see if you can find a contact person, or you can address the letter to hiring manager or search committee or director of human resources. In the opening paragraph, introduce yourself, state the position you're applying for, and describe your interest in the position in an engaging way that entices the employer to continue reading. This is where you can add about how you find out about the position and include a referral's name if you have one. You can be more creative in your opening paragraph to communicate that information in a more compelling manner, but remember to keep it professional and relevant. If you're sharing any additional information in the opening paragraph, ask yourself, does this reinforce or distract about what I will say about why I'm a good fit? Finish with briefly summarizing what makes you a good overall fit for the position. Now, there's no standardized rule for how many paragraphs your letter should be or the specific order in which to talk about your skills. Cover letters are highly personalized, but we suggest that you keep your letter to one page and use 1 to 2 paragraphs to expand on your background. Use those body paragraphs to describe how you can offer what the employer is looking for based on the job description. For each body paragraph, you'll want to show the employer how you've used those key skills and attributes that are emphasized in the job description. The more directly related the experience you discuss, the better. If you're making a connection to your transferable skills, be sure to state that connection clearly in terms of what the employer is looking for. You can take it a step further by incorporating how your experience aligns with the mission and values of the organization. You'll wrap up by summarizing your qualifications and re-emphasizing your interest in the position or organization. If you decide to add in one final detail, be sure it's something that's relevant to one of the minimum or desired qualifications. Be sure to thank the employer for their consideration of your application and indicate the next step in the process. Then finish with a closing and your name. You can include a signature between the closing and your name, but it is okay just to type your name at the bottom of the letter. Cover letters allow you to make an impact with employers when you take the time to tailor. Remember to speak the employer's language by using the skills and keywords from the job description and draw clear connections between what you've done and how you will meet the employer's needs. Then get feedback and edit your letter so that it's clearly polished and ready to go. For help with your cover letter or anything else career related, visit our website at career.arizona.edu.